Hello, everyone. Welcome to our first Friday talk. Before starting our session, I would like to briefly introduce myself. I'm Gülnara Yusibova, currently a third year PhD student in chemistry, studying at the University of Tartu. As you already may know, I'm also founder of Sci-Shark and the organizer of MindFul PhD project. The main idea of the Mindful PhD is that we want to help PhD students to hear their stories, to hear their problems, and if we can, we would like to give them tips how to manage with those problems or how to manage their work and life balance and how to do the research with more healthy mindset. Okay, so today's topic is PhD and PI relationship in academia. And before our session, I have done some research to prepare the questions that also like from my experience and generally like how students talk about this topic and how like which kind of answers or which kind of touching which kind of topics can be useful for them. So firstly, I would like to start with this question: how to choose our supervisor. So this is the like how to say starting point of the PhD and PI relationship. That if you choose the right supervisor for yourself, then it means that you are winner. You know, you are winner, and but the first important thing is how to choose that person. Okay. I would say that from my experience, firstly, just be careful about your first meeting with your PI because your first impression from that meeting will tell you like the future of that relationship. Okay, so uh, like I'm talking from my experience, and also I would like to hear your first meeting with your PI. Well, before having the our first meeting with her, with my supervisor, I have done some research about her because for me that student like not student, I'm sorry, the supervisor can be really knowledgeable person having lots of experience or really famous one, but if you don't feel that click with him or with her, so like it's better not to start even. Okay, because like it's important that as a student and PI, your energies match with each other. This is like kind of helping immensely in future, let's say, problems or disagreements or any project that you will work on. So this is important to consider. And then, okay, make sure that your supervisor, your prospective supervisor, gives value to your opinions and actually to ask from you that what you are interested in, what is your like interested areas, and which kind of topics you would like to do your research. So this is the like for me huge green flag because if supervisor asks this and rather than just to suggest his or her projects and ask you to do them without even asking you that if you are interested in or not. So this is kind of something the first sign if your supervisor is interested in your um, like opinions and give value to your thoughts. This is like a huge green flag for me. Also, like in our first meeting, we ended up that I will go and do some research, and I was supposed to suggest like three topics to her that maybe like we can work one of those. At that time, like to be honest, I didn't know how to do research even because I joined my current research group from my master and from the graduating from bachelor's, so I haven't any experience with research. And you may say that what about your thesis? So in my country, that's just state exam, not a thesis, not a research work. So just you just take the state exam, and then if you pass, then it means that you graduate from the bachelor. However, I didn't kind of reject this offer. I went and did like some research, Googled about the topics that I'm interested in. Although, yes, we didn't end up with any of this because it was like not kind of so much relevant to the group's work. However, that was kind of something like huge for me, that a huge positive sign for me that my supervisor gives importance to what I think about, okay, what I'm interested in. And so let's say that you choose your supervisor with this way. It's fine. Also, for example, you can take your time, like first month or first 3 months to work with that research group, and then you can like you will, I mean, for sure hear from your colleagues about your supervisor or about the works they do, or the maybe you will hear some complaints, or at least also you will hear how do they solve them, or is there any kind of arguments or problems within the group. So you will know all of this, and then you can decide like if you want to continue with them or not. And another how to say, the concern, or just another topic that I want to touch, that there's understanding or labeling of the professors or supervisors as a good, bad, or toxic supervisors. Firstly, I wouldn't prefer to call any supervisor or professor in this way. At least for me, let's just be respectful for their years of experience, years of knowledge, and also their huge effort for their students. But rather than, I would prefer to call them as like right supervisor for you or not, because as people, as like in general, like there is no absolute good or absolute bad person, or with your saying there is no absolute toxic person. There's only like a right person for us or not, and also same applies in our academic work, that if there is a right supervisor for us or not. And there are like, as I mentioned before, you can determine this from your first meetings, or you can take your time, to do some work with them. Then you can decide if you want to continue or not. Also, it depends, like, as a person, like, is there kind of signs that it tells you that you will get along with them in the future or not? Firstly, like from my observations in my department, it's like really strange and also amazing that how the students match with their supervisors. Yes, for example, if your supervisor is a introvert person, you know, and if you have the extrovert character, then please do not expect your supervisor to act like extrovert person when they do supervision to you. Okay, they shouldn't do it. They don't have this kind of obligation. Just also do not think that okay, opposites attract. No, they don't. So this is like much serious. Um, and like you can search their background. Okay, for example, do they attend in conferences, or do they attend in seminars as a speaker, or just as attendee frequently or not, or just do are they famous, and because of what? It's just because of their articles that published in high impact journals, or is it because of the lots of articles they have, like, or just because of the quality of research they do, or just the quality of interaction they have with their students. So you can just search them, and you can see, okay, this person is right for you or not. Or maybe, for example, let's say that you searched, and you found out that supervisor is like very famous, and actually his articles on Nature or other high impact journals attracted you a lot. So you decided that, okay, I'm lucky enough, I would be lucky enough if I would join to the research group, and you decide to join. And you just how to say, you believe this idea, that okay, if that supervisor is famous because of his or her articles, it means that he or she will be a good mentor for me as well, and they will interested in my work. So like definitely I should join. And even in your first meeting with your prospective supervisor, so you may ignore those red flags about them. Okay, for example, they may suggest you their projects even without asking that if you are interested or not. So you may like ignore those signs, and you would decide to join. But please, if you, in case, like if you make this decision later, do not complain. Do not complain that your supervisor is not interested in you, or you didn't experience what you expected previously. So that's because you choose this, okay? And that's why like we should be like very careful about when we choose our supervisors. So this thing that I wanted to mention, that those energies should match, because for example, my supervisor is like a quite extrovert person. Like she likes to attend in like conferences a lot, gives speech there as a speaker, or she's like super interested in our works, or just how we feel. So this is like quite a huge thing for me. Also, like she has joyful personality, which is like also like a plus for me. Because like I cannot imagine to do research, or just to spend 4 years with the person who like not really a fan of making jokes, or like the character of taking things easily, or just not super serious. So this is like my supervisor is a right supervisor for me, okay? But I know really, really knowledgeable supervisors from other groups. And when I hear from other students that, okay, they are not so joyful person, um, or they are so serious, they are so strict. So this is kind of not so positive comments about them, yeah. However, when you just make communication with them, you see, okay, actually, I mean, they are a nice person, They are also kind. They have also understanding of making jokes, but in different way, It's like not the same as the extrovert personality can make, or yeah, they would understand it. So that's why, for me, I wouldn't choose to work with that kind of supervisor, like who is so serious or so strict. But for some people, like for some students, who are also like that, so for them, that supervisor is a very right choice. Okay, so that's why it depends on how you feel, like how you feel when you talk to that person as your future supervisor. Okay, also another thing I want to mention about whether to join or not to join the well-known research groups. Well, really, it depends on your expectations. Like, what do you expect when you join that research group? Okay, because if you just want to have your articles in the high impact journals like the Nature, then go ahead. Okay, for sure you will have. Or you want to have like only skill which is your research, then also go ahead, you will get that. Okay, however, if you want to have such a supervisor like who is interested in your works, and who is interested also like how you feel, also for example, sometimes when your work is like failed, then at that time, how his or her approach, to this failure, is it constructive or is it destructive that they blame you about this? So this is the like really depends on what you expect. Then yeah, you can decide if you want to join those famous groups or not. Because let's be real. According to the today's like reality of academia, the supervisors who have many publications, and also if you see that, okay, like when you search their Google Scholar profile, you see that like lots of articles have published in high impact journals. You can just like how to say give this decision rationally that they are working on this a lot. Okay, because as you know, the preparing the manuscript or doing some corrections, applying those journals, and even like to deal with the reviewers' comments. When you get, for example, rejection, again, remodify that manuscript and to submit another journal. And imagine that they do this a lot, like for the many articles from their different students, and like technically they don't have time to interested in your work. Okay, for example, like probably you have experienced this already, that you may just go to ask your question from your supervisor, from your famous supervisor, but they would reply you that, okay, they didn't have time. They didn't have time to answer that, and you can visit them later. However, you will not see that later time ever, never. Okay, that's why, like, just think logically and think according to the reality. Okay, maybe you have heard some supervisors in different universities that they are famous. Also, they are like a super interested in the how their students doing. But at least I haven't. I haven't until yet. And also, for example, when I go to the how to say, the meetings or the seminars to listen to the talk of those like well-known supervisors, and when I talk to their students, okay, guys, how you feel, how it feels like to be the student of X supervisor, and what they say me that they rarely see their supervisor, which is like really, really, really terrible. Yeah, just if you kind of undecided to join well-known group or not, I would just suggest that think rationally, consider the reality, then also be clear about your expectations. Then I'm sure that you will make right decision. Okay, the another one is how to develop confidence when you're talking to your supervisor. And another thing is linked to this, how to avoid the slave mindset. Recently, I have seen some social media posts and where they say that avoid to do your supervisor's project because this leads to slavery mindset. Okay, do not do your supervisor's project. To be honest, like I don't know how to react this because it is, I don't know, like such a like a huge misunderstanding. Also, it's very unfortunate that science influencers, like well-known science influencers, share this kind of thoughts. However, um, I want to like give you some tips that currently, if you have this kind of feeling that you are a slave of your supervisor because you are doing their work, so how to avoid this kind of mindset? Because this is such a like a terrible way of thinking, and like imagine that we are expected to be a researcher in the future, in the near future, and if we have today that kind of mindset, then like mm, yeah, how it will be, you know, how we can be uh like super knowledgeable or super confident researcher if we have the slavery mindset today. So the I would suggest firstly ask some questions from yourself that what leads you to think that or to feel that you are slave because you are doing the projects. Is it because lack of your knowledge? Is it because your lack of curiosity with that project? Because if you have the lack of curiosity with the project, then basically like okay, your supervisor asks you to involve in that project, and if you don't have any curiosity, then you will feel like you are forced. You know, you are just obliged rather than um, your own like a genuine interest on that project. So you may feel like it's unavoidable to feel like a slave. However, like for example, if you are suggested the project from your supervisor, before saying that, no, I'm not interested in, thank you, I would just go and to do some research. Because like from my own experience, the title of some projects may not be sound interesting to you instantly. However, when you go and to do some research, then you know the value of that project. Okay, you understand the value of that project, and you start to interested in. So I would suggest to do this first. But if you are not after doing the research, then yeah, you can just like kindly ignore this project. Okay, ignore to attend it or involve in. So also another reason can be that I don't know, like a slave mindset is something that I haven't felt because I always feel like that, you know, like I'm working on this project with my supervisor, not working for my supervisor, but with my supervisor, okay? And since I'm also doing research, I feel that confidence that I can make a discussion about that topic with my supervisor, which is really, really like helpful for that work. Yeah, just ask this kind of questions. Try to analyze what causes to that feeling, and also remember that okay, what is your like purpose of doing PhD? Uh, like probably when you started the PhD, you would have already known that you will work on project. And indeed, like I'm super thankful for the projects that my supervisor offered me because I know the effort behind it. Like our supervisors work a lot to make that project happen. You know, like to make that project happen and also to get funding for that project is like a really huge work and demands huge effort. So, like I would say that we should be thankful for them. Also, it's kind of great opportunity for us, you know, because when you are working on the project, you develop your critical thinking, or just you develop your ability of decision making. Because when you do that work, let's say something doesn't go as planned, and you can develop new ways how to solve that problem. Okay, you can explore what like somebody else has done before, or yeah, I mean you can do immense literature research, or just you can test them, try to optimize them. So this is like all related to critical thinking, you know. And you can decide sometimes, okay, maybe this way is better, and of course with the rational reason, you know, that rational reason should be um, it is backup that why you give that decision. So this all like affects, this all has positive impact on our like developing the set of skills, which is like critical thinking or decision making, or ability of making you know, the communication with your supervisor. Because some of the students, and I also used to be, that I was feeling not confident enough. I was thinking that, okay, I will never able to, um, you know, like make academic discussion or with my supervisor, because I have lack of knowledge, and basically like other students have more than what I have. So I will not able to. And my supervisor is like a really super knowledgeable person. So like I wasn't feeling myself enough that I can do such a discussion with her. But time by time, when I was doing like lots of research about every project, so it was giving me like a huge experience, and also like boosting my self-confidence, that finally, like currently I can tell my ideas without hesitating, and or like, you know, not feeling that not feeling bad if my idea get ignored or just get rejected. Not ignored, but the right word is here, the rejected. Because okay, like it's not compulsory that all the ideas or all the suggestions that I offer to her about the project should be the correct one and we should actually implement it. No, like of course, like sometimes you will be wrong, or most of the time you will be wrong, but be sure that you will eventually be right about your opinion, about your kind of decision of doing that work. So just actually doing project really gives you lots of experience rather than making you slave of your PI. Okay, and the next one is when you have, or if you have disagreement or problem with your PI, how to solve that. So guys, like for example, in my studies, in my work, sometimes, yeah, or most of the time, let's say, I have the disagreements with my supervisor, which is like quite normal because this is like beginning of the academic journey for me. I'm learning all the time. Of course, our PI is also learning, but for us, this is like so beginning of this journey. So we should be okay with making a lot of mistakes, and we should be okay having the disagreements. But what is the most important is to have the healthy attitude for the disagreements, okay? And this should be done by you and also by your supervisor. And let's say that if you are just open to have the discussion or just to have the idea of the disagreement, but your supervisor is not, and this sounds quite threatening for her or for him, of course, like you cannot make such a discussion with him or with her. So it's important that both parties accept this as a normal and trying to solve the whatever the problem is. Um, for example, when I had a disagreement, I try to first listen to my supervisor, like what is she saying, how she's explaining it to me, yeah, or like sometimes I ask, but most of the time she sends me the references that prove that the way that I am offering is not that much right, okay, to do. So just ask your supervisors to give you references to explain that why you are wrong when you are wrong. Otherwise, like, okay, like, in some cases, this will damage your ego because you will think that, okay, I have done like, so many research. There's no way that this idea is not good enough. However, just be okay with the idea of being wrong because it means that you will learn something new. Okay, this is just the attitude you should develop from time to time. And then finally, what I want to mention that try to establish and maintain good relationship with your supervisor and do it in a genuine way, like do not play role of good student or considerate student or nice student. So just be genuine and approach your supervisor or in general to people in honest way, in sincere way, so that you can find the people or the right supervisor for yourself and also to have the good relationship with them, because really to have the right mentor is like a so crucial to your study. And it is like if you have the right one, if you have the right mentor, which means the right PI, it's like consider that it's like life changing for you, okay? It's not only about at least for me it's not only about just writing the papers and doing research. There are so many other things, other skills that you should get, and it's necessary for your life or for your future career, because for example during your like a study or during your work, you can develop your communication ability, which is like needless to say so important. And how you develop, for example, you can supervise bachelor students or the master students in your research group, and then you will see that how it is challenging actually to have the right way of communicating with people or with students. You will see like a students with different mindset, with different approach, and sometimes like they will like a purposely uh, play on your nerves. Then like you should know how to manage those cases professionally. And here the communication is the key, and you should be the master of the communication. Also to have the networking with other students or with other professors from academia, which is like really important for your work. Like, okay, you can choose to do work alone and not interested in others' work or opinions, but this will not take you longer. Okay, you will get some achievements. However, this is not like healthy decision for you to make it. Um, Also, for example, like it will, like a good mentor will have impact on your reaction, that when you have like failures, okay, when you experience with failures. Because in my case, like I used to be, and actually nowadays also, like sometime I am kind of drama queen, and who just react the failures in a very, very dramatic way. Like, like when my experiment fails, I act like, okay, the world collapsed, and there's no laboratory for me at all to retest it or optimizing it. Yeah, just everything ended. However, in this case, I called my supervisor just to get advice from her. Okay, what is her opinion in this case? And like, trust me, her that attitude, because probably the attitude of the person with the joyful personality. So they have like a special vibe. It's like their attitude or their reactions are like brightest light in the darkest room. That much. So she just accept this in a very calm way, in a very like a controlled way. So after just ending our conversation with her, I feel like, okay, I mean, it's not actually uh, worse to make a drama, but like I can retest it, or I can try some ways to make it happen, okay, to make it work. So also, like throughout the years, I have already developed that character in me, that when, of course, like failures happen every time, there is no like kind of expiration date for them. I wish it could be, but yeah, it's not possible. Yeah, like when I have some failed measurements, failed experiments, I just, yeah, accept them like calmly, and I try to analyze what was the mistake, yeah, what was the mistake, and how can I improve it. And actually, it works. It works very nicely, like this way of approaching, because like I don't damage my mental health. It doesn't cause depression or anxiety or stress in me. I mean, of course, there are some still, like you will feel, but not that much, not a huge stress. And then, like, I approached it rationally, and like it's like as a first reaction. Then yeah, like it works nicely. So this is some like most of the time also this kind of attitude helps me in my like personal life problems as well. So that's why like having good mentor helps you develop like personally or professionally in many different ways. So that's why like try to firstly find a right supervisor for yourself, and then try to maintain that healthy relationship between you and your supervisor. So I think that this is already the end of my speech, and this recording will be uploaded to our YouTube channel, also the future recordings. Please feel free to tell your opinions, or to tell from your experience how is your supervisor, what kind of impact she or he has on your career or on your life. So just I will read all those comments. Okay, and I will announce in the upcoming days the topic of the next week. So see you all there. Take care, guys.